How to start blackjack running count mid-shoe. Imagine walking into a game already in progress and wanting to jump right in with a good idea of what's happening. That's where starting a running count mid-shoe comes into play. It might sound tricky, but with a clear plan, you can do it smoothly. First, you need to look at the cards that have already been played. Check the discard tray and the visible cards on the table. Count how many decks have been dealt by estimating the number of cards or decks in the discard pile. For example, if you see about 3 decks worth of cards gone in a 6-deck shoe, you know roughly half the shoe is finished. Next, you'll want to estimate the running count based on the cards you see. Use the card values from your chosen system, like the high-low system. In high-low, cards 2 through 6 add +1, 10 and face cards -1, and 7s, 8s, and 9s are 0. Add or subtract these values for each visible card to get an approximate count. Remember, this is an estimate, so don't worry about being perfectly precise. Now, you need to figure out how many decks are left in the shoe. Divide your estimated running count by the number of decks remaining. This gives you the true count, which is more accurate for making betting decisions. To estimate decks remaining, look at the number of cards left and compare it to the total deck size. For example, if you think about 3 decks have been played in a 6-deck shoe, then about 3 decks are still in play. Once you have your starting running count, keep counting each new card as it's dealt. Add or subtract based on the card's value, just like you would if starting fresh. This ongoing count helps you decide when to bet more or less. A few practical tips. Start with a rough estimate rather than trying to be perfect. Focus on counting the cards you see in the discard tray and on the table before you join. Practice estimating deck penetration and counting partial decks to improve your accuracy. Be aware that some casinos restrict mid-shoe entry, so always be discreet and respectful. Remember, starting a running count mid-shoe is about reconstructing the situation from what's visible and then continuing the count as the game goes on. With practice, you can join a game already in progress and keep a solid count to inform your play.